Beryl is a humble old man who works as a sword instructor. One day, out of the blue, he's appointed as the special trainer for the capital's strongest knights, and ends up becoming the most powerful adventurer in town. This story begins with a character named Beryl, who is training under the supervision of an old man. The old man watches his skills and encourages him, saying that his swordsmanship is very good. Beryl runs the training hall, and students come to him from all over. Then his father tells him that he wants grandchildren from him, meaning he wants to marry Beryl off so he can have children. But Beryl replies, "Father, I haven't found the perfect girl yet." His father insists that he should look for a nice girl among his students. Beryl tells him, "Dad, the training hall is no place for romance." Then Beryl speaks to us, the viewers, and says, "I was born here and played with wooden swords ever since I was a little kid. Nothing has changed since then. I gave it my all. When I was young, I dreamed of being a great swordsman. In the end, I gained slightly better skills than the average person, and I have decent speed for my age. I'm grateful for that. Maybe I don't have amazing fighting skills, but I have a talent for teaching. Many graduates have become very successful, and that's thanks to God and then to me." After that, we see Beryl and his father having dinner together. His father brings up the topic of grandchildren again and says, "Is wanting grandchildren really that difficult?" He turns to his wife Farron and says, "You want to hold your grandchildren too, right? Come on, tell Beryl to get married. Time is passing and he needs to decide quickly." Just then, a girl, one of his former students, comes to the door. Beryl looks at her and thinks she looks familiar. She says it's been a long time since they last met. He asks, "Are you Wuxia?" And she replies, "Yes, it's me." She comes in and joins them for tea. He tells her it's been so long that he barely recognized her. Beryl's father speaks up and says he's kept up with her news through her letters. She's risen in the ranks and is now the commander of the Royal Knights. She tells Beryl that she came to recommend him as a special instructor for the Royal Order, and that his appointment has been officially approved. She hands him the document, which bears the official royal seal. "This is a great offer," she says. "You shouldn't turn it down, or you'll face serious consequences. There's a carriage waiting outside. Come with me. We'll stay there overnight because things are urgent. The training halls will close tomorrow." Beryl's father tells him to go quickly and also to look for a wife in the capital. Then he jokes, "Don't look far, your wife is right beside you. She's a beautiful girl." Beryl gets annoyed and says, "Dad, stop teasing me. You're embarrassing Wuxia. There's a big age difference between us." But Wuxia says she doesn't mind the age gap. In fact, she thinks it's a good thing. She mumbles those words, and Beryl asks, "What did you say?" She replies quickly, "Nothing," blushing deeply. They travel together in the carriage, and Beryl talks to her about the sword she's carrying. It's the sword he gave her a long time ago when she was training under him. He used to give those swords to students when they graduated. He says, "I'm happy you still have that sword. But a village blacksmith's sword like that doesn't suit a commander like you anymore," she replies. "On the contrary, this sword suits me perfectly. You, Master, have done so much for me. I respect and appreciate you deeply. You've taught me so much. I'm certain that the position you chose is perfect for you, Master. I'll also work hard to become someone worthy of you." Her face turns red as she mumbles those last words. Finally, they arrive at Beltrin, the capital. It's been many years since Beryl last came here. The next day at the hotel, we see Wuxia talking about Beryl. She tells the others that he's so strong she couldn't possibly face him. Beryl feels flattered and excited by her praise. It's a lot to take in. She gave him a dream job, one anyone would wish for. Beryl tells them, "I don't know how useful my skills will be to you, but I'll do my best. I'm looking forward to working with you." After that, we see Beryl with Lucia, where she tells him that his speech was excellent, as she expected. As stated in the documents she gave him, he is requested to attend night training 3 or 4 times a month. This schedule shouldn't conflict with his duties at the training hall. At that moment, a girl named Couronne suddenly rushes in, excited to greet her teacher. She hadn't seen him in a long time. Lucia scolds her gently, saying, "A proper knight shouldn't run around like that." Beryl warmly welcomes her, telling her she's become a fine knight, though she still has a long road ahead. She trained in his hall for nearly 2 years and worked hard to become a knight. Beryl is very happy that he'll get the chance to continue her training. He still can't believe that 2 of his students ended up in the Royal Order. That night, Beryl returns home to find that they have guests. When he looks closely, he realizes it's Randred, one of his former students from long ago, along with his wife and child. Beryl is delighted to see them. However, his father tells him that there's no need for him to stay here anymore. He should settle in Beltrin, focus on his job there, and not return until he finds a wife. Beryl is shocked by his father's demand. Later, Beryl chats with Randred, asking about his life. Randred tells him that he's quitting adventuring and has moved to the village after having a child. Beryl expresses concern, saying it's a risky decision for someone of platinum rank, but Randred replies that he reached that level thanks to Beryl's training, and he still feels guilty for leaving it behind. Beryl tells him that it's been over 10 years since he was his student, and it was Randred's own effort that got him that far. Adventurers can earn a lot, but it's a dangerous life. The next morning, we see Beryl walking around the city with Alusha. He's looking for a place to live since the hotel he booked is too expensive for a long stay. Finding a place with a reasonable price would be best, especially since Beryl doesn't know the capital very well. Alusha offers to help and even suggests he stay at her place, but Beryl politely declines. She then invites him to lunch first. At that moment, they hear a voice from behind. A girl says, "The commander of the order is walking around with a strange man?" Alusha realizes it's Lysandra and that she's trying to cause trouble with her words. Beryl becomes anxious, but Alusha turns to face Lysandra and orders her to stop with the insults. Beryl wants to leave, but Alusha insists on handling it. Lysandra keeps pushing, questioning how Alusha dares to call some random man master. Beryl notices that Lysandra wears a black-ranked adventurer's tag, indicating her high level. But as Lysandra looks at him more closely, she suddenly recognizes him. She exclaims that he's Master Beryl. He, however, doesn't recognize her at first. She tells him her full name, Sorina Lysandra, and reminds him that he trained her as a child and taught her how to wield a sword. Beryl finally remembers her. She tells him she had wanted to tell him about her success for a long time, but never had the chance. Beryl says he's happy to see how far she's come. Lysandra then asks what he's doing with Alusha. Alusha answers that Beryl is now a special instructor for the Liberian Order and that he'll be living in Beltran, currently looking for a place to stay, and that she's helping him. Lysandra then insists that she knows more than Alusha when it comes to finding housing in the capital. "I work as a liaison for adventurers coming from distant places," Lysandra says. "You've never even stayed in an inn in this city." This angers Alusha greatly. After that, they go to a certain place, and Lysandra says, "This place should suit your needs." Beryl thanks them for their help and tells them, "Please, be kind to each other." They leave him to rest, and from the balcony, Beryl watches them and talks to himself. "I'm not young enough to enjoy the sudden shift to city life, but it's good to have my former students looking out for me." Then, the scene shifts to the Liberian Order Academy, where many students are training. Alusha enters and announces, "We've changed the schedule. Starting today, Master Beryl will be your instructor. Get ready for real training." Beryl starts speaking to welcome them, but is interrupted by a young man who says, "You need a certain level of strength to become an instructor in the Liberian Order. I'd like to see just how skilled you are." Beryl asks Alusha, "Who is this boy?" She responds, "Henblitz, the vice commander of the order." Henblitz adds, "I would like to duel you." Alusha says, "This is a great chance to showcase your skills. I hope you won't make decisions without my input again." They prepare to fight. Henblitz says, "The commander is very kind. Her desire to honor her old teacher isn't surprising, but sometimes kindness leads to mistakes. Fortunately, I'm in a position to correct those." Beryl replies, "I'm just a man from a remote village, but at the very least, I'll try not to look too weak when I lose. I can't let Alusha lose her standing because of me." The duel begins. They exchange blows. Beryl lands a hit and checks to see if Henblitz is okay, but Henblitz angrily says, "I don't need your concern." Beryl thinks to himself, "I was planning to stop, but I hit him anyway." Henblitz charges, but Beryl blocks his strikes. Henblitz is fast and powerful. His strength exceeds Beryl's. Despite that, Beryl manages to win the training match. Henblitz is stunned by his strength and impressed by his fighting style. He says, "I want you to be my trainer." Later, the scene shifts to a celebration for Beryl being officially appointed as an instructor. Henblitz apologizes for being rude earlier. Beryl replies, "It's natural to doubt a man who suddenly shows up like I did." Alusha gets annoyed, saying, "I told you Beryl was a strong teacher." Henblitz then says, "Your sword skills really impressed me, especially the way you turned my final spin to your advantage. I'd love to know how you did that." Beryl answers, "I matched my movement with yours." If your style had been a little less rigid, the final scene shows the old man, probably Beryl's former master or mentor, thanking Randred, saying, "Nothing makes me happier than helping Master Beryl spread his name. Tell them that his skills go far beyond this village. I've traveled to many places as an adventurer, but I've never met a better swordsman than Master Beryl." And so, today's episode of the anime comes to an end. Stay tuned for the next episodes. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all the latest content.